Welcome, you beginners. We are so excited to have you here with us. We're so happy to be here doing our fourth episode. And if this is your first time joining, welcome. We love to have you here. So today we are going to talk about something not neat as funny, but we are going to talk about weight journeys. We have a lot to discuss on that, which will lead to other topics for future podcasts. And we'll also talk about our week just a little bit because, we always have a little bit of funny stuff that happens during the week. So I'm Kimberly.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Lori.
And welcome. Lori, I see that you have on your race shirt and hat. Does that mean that there's a race again?
It does. And it is race week and is in Saudi Arabia this week. And so those that aren't, I'm sure there's some Formula One fans out there actually. If not, then the Drive to Survive series on Netflix, it really makes it more like the Real Housewives of Formula One. And so it goes a deep dive into their all personalities. And so that's really what, actually an astonishing figure came out this week. 35% of the population that watch Formula One are women.
Really?
Yes. And a lot of it is because they really take a deep dive into their personalities, their off the track situations. So we follow a lot of behind the scenes. And so, yes, my driver, Max Verstappen, who's with Red Bull, has got a lot of drama going on this week. And so I'm giving him all the luck in the world.
Well, I wish him luck. Good luck.
So that's why I'm representing him.
Yeah. Well, awesome. And then, would you ever, want to go to, say, Saudi Arabia?
Oh, yeah. I wish I could show you. I'll show you all later. But the shots, it's over the Red Sea. It's gorgeous, and it's a night race. It's unbelievably gorgeous. So, yes, I would love to go to a lot of international places.
Yeah, to watch
I've only
all
been to
that.
one live race, and that's been the U.S. Grand Prix, which is in Austin, Texas. So I got to go to my first live race last year, and that was amazing.
But you know what? You can actually, each year try to pick a different place each year.
Yeah, it's really expensive, though. That's the thing. Well, it's not more expensive than Austin, Texas. That's the sad part.
Really?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So expensive. So you really can't do it.
It gives you something to look forward to try.
It does.
Yeah. So I'm always big about, planning something and having a goal to look forward to. And you know what? If I don't make it, I don't make it. But maybe next year. I'm a very optimistic person. So I try.
Yeah. And there's some really awesome, Singapore. Love to go Singapore. But there's some really awesome, Italy. There's a lot of European tracks. There's amazing places to go to. So, anyway, that's
well, Lori,
yes.
So tell me about did you have anything exciting this week? I know that every week can't be exciting, but did you?
And last week I didn't really talk about anything in my week, as you remember, because I had nothing going on. But this week I actually did. So there's a really great group that's called Powerful Purses, and it is a sponsor. So they actually sponsor the Gladney Adoption Agency here locally in Fort Worth. Very awesome program. So the mothers that give up their babies for adoption, this program is called Powerful Purses, and they actually sponsor these women that have given up their child. And they give them scholarships and allow them to go to college and be successful. And they go on to get their
master's. The parents go to college?
So the mother that gave up their child for adoption.
Get to go to college.
They pay for them to go to college.
That's
so
really cool.
Every year they put on this amazing event in downtown Fort Worth at the Fort Worth Club. And generally Deborah Ferguson from NBC co-hosts it, and she does the cheering. They always invite two really great sponsored people to come and speak, and they're usually powerful women of some sort. And so this particular year, unfortunately, Deborah Ferguson was sick. Then she had her co-anchor step in, which is Brittany from NBC, which was still amazing. And the two speakers this particular year were one was a NASA aerospace research engineer. I wanted have it out in front of me because it's a
That is a
mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
The other one is an astronaut, basically, is a short version of her, and she's from India, and she came over to the United States to go to a program, and they actually met when they were in college together at UTA, which is even
Here in Arlington?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So very great. One of them is a doctor. That was the aerospace and NASA engineer. And the other one was an astronaut. So they kind of just tell their stories, how they got to where they were. Always the food is amazing. And there are actually this year, there's a lot of men there, which they've been trying to push to have as sponsors there for the event. And then the women, there was like 5 girls that actually got up and spoke about their journeys and what they've been through and how they've gone on to where they've gone to college and so forth. So it's a really great event.
I bet it was very powerful.
It is. That's why it's called Powerful Person.
But I know, I've been to many events like that.
Yeah.
And when I go and I listen to these women, and I'm like, that could be me. Oh my God, I can do this. Let me do this. Because they're so powerful, and you think, why can't it be you? You know, you just got to put that foot forward to make it happen.
That's right. So that was awesome. That was midweek, so I enjoyed that. So I actually can say I did something this week. And I did go to, I had a revisit. We haven't covered this topic, which today we're, like Kimberly said earlier, we're going to talk about weight journeys. But I will deep dive into my experience going to a wellness center and dealing with holistic doctors in a future episode coming soon. And I actually had another follow-up appointment this week with her as well. So,
but did everything go okay?
Everything was great. Yeah. So I look forward to kind of sharing some of that process through the next podcast.
I'm excited for her to talk about it because I used to not believe in things like that.
I didn't either.
But now I really do think that I would believe in it. And so that is something that I would like to try in the future.
Definitely listening to you talk about it, it makes sense.
Well, and to be honest, I was very blindly walked into it. I was introduced to it randomly by somebody, and I did walk in thinking, I don't know if this is going to be for me, but it has turned out to be a great journey over the last, I would say, not quite 2 years, but just about. And so I will be sharing that experience in the next, I think we're going to do either the next episode or the following episode. We're going to do a series after this one with more of health journey. This one's going to be about weight journey, and the next one will be about health journey. So I'll share a lot of that with everybody on the next podcast. So anyway, how about you, Jen? Why don't you tell us about your week?
My week has been good. I will say that Dutch, we talked about last week, is doing fantastic. There has not been any messes for me to clean. He's doing great.
You know, I have to say it.
Go say it. But
thank gosh you didn't make that decision.
You're seriously the worst.
I am the worst, but it makes me laugh. But I will have to say, I believe, and Jen saw today, that my dog will probably have to make that decision very soon because she is in a lot of pain. So
we'll have to go see if she needs x-rays, medicine.
So we're going to do that. But yes, the cat is doing great.
He's doing great. He is doing so good.
It's so great to hear. And I watched him this evening as well, and he looks amazing. So.
And I will say that our other cat is in heat right now, so you may hear her. And I apologize for that. Because we both went.
Okay, I am not a cat person, only because I'm allergic to cats.
But
I will, no, not really. But I will tell you, I had no idea a cat goes in heat that much because I'd have to be, oh my God, you gotta go. You can come back when you're not in heat, but no. How do you sleep through the meow all night long?
It's not all night.
It comes and goes. And I will say, I did take her to get her fixed, but it was because of her health issues, they couldn't do it. So it's my fault for not doing it when she was younger. That's on me.
Can I do it?
No, you may not.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
it's not on you because you actually had to let her live with someone else for a while. So
I did.
Yeah.
But when she was younger, I mean, that was when she was 7 when I moved away. So I should have done it when she was younger.
it's okay.
It's okay. I mean, yeah, but
I'd
it
already
is what it
said-
is. I just had no idea that it happens so much and
I
it's
don't
so
think it
loud.
used to. I think now that she's 10, it's like all the time.
But you would think as women, when we go to menopause, we have it at all.
It usually slows down. I feel like
Oh my
hers is
God,
sped up.
women. We're going to talk about that in another podcast
Oh, yeah.
about hysterectomy and no libido.
Okay, so y'all had something fun happen this week.
Oh my God.
So
all
first,
right.
let's start by saying that we have a new setup, as you
We
see.
do have a new setup.
Yes.
We moved to my office. And
So, actually, we like this and everything. We're just missing. We want to get our name put up on the wall that says "New Beginnings After 40" and like kind of a neon light. But hey, progress.
We're
We
getting
have
there.
we have to get there. So when they decided they wanted to try coming into the office, so Jen said, "Hey, I'm going to go search for table and chairs, blah, blah, blah." So we were all going back and forth on where we're going or like looking at stuff. So I had to go to the bank, remember, for my financial advisor.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go back to sign all the paperwork. And I said, "Hey, I'm almost done. You want to meet at home and the store?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we went and we picked out a table. Okay, this
Yeah.
table.
this table.
And then we picked
Because
out.
you can't really see the
But anyways, and 3 chairs that were way more comfortable. And so, all right, so I put the 3 chairs in my car. She put the table in her car. And then we had to go our separate ways because I had to do a few things and before I could come over, and I had to cook dinner for my family. So that all happened. And then she calls me and says, "Oh my God, these people messed up the table. I put all the legs in it, and there's 3 on one side and 1 on one side." And I said, "Are you serious?"
No, she actually took a picture
I took a picture.
and drew on it where the legs are supposed to be.
So that when I took it back, I could show the lady,
Yeah.
"Look, they put this together wrong."
And she asked Terry,
I did.
and
Am I being dumb or is this wrong?
and he said it's wrong. So, okay, that's fine. I said, "Okay, well, here, I'm going to be over after dinner and let's put together the 3 chairs." So we do. And then I said, "Listen, let's not wait till tomorrow. Let's just go exchange the table and get this over with so we don't have to worry about it." So we drove over to Glade Park. It's like 20 minutes away. And we go inside and she takes it in. And then I park the car and I go inside and I said, "I just want to let you know that we are going to open this box and we're going to pull it out. We need to make sure that this is correct because I'm not taking this home and messing this up." So the lady just upset me, didn't she?
I guess that'll be okay.
I guess that'll be okay. No, that's what I'm doing. I wasn't trying to be mean.
No.
I was just saying, no, we've already done this. I'm not doing it again. So we went back. We switched it. We took it back up to the front, and then we open it. We pull it out, and then Jen measures it. And it's like, oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, everything's great. And I'm like, okay, perfect. So we put it in the back of my car. that's it. We're good. We come back home. So we pull it into the office and then we lay it on the floor upside down. It's okay. I'm going to do this without laughing.
Okay, thank you.
And so there's these little like clips that you put the leg in, and you screw it in. And so when we had it upside down and I put the leg there, I was like just playing around with the little clip and I go, Jen, the clips move. And she's like, what? I go, the clips move. They're not sitting there. You move the clips to where you want it.
Okay. Now, give me 1 second to say the one that was beside me. It didn't move. So
It did. It did move. It did move. I died laughing. Oh my God. We are going to be on a bloopers and at home. Hey, everybody watch. These two dumb blonde girls go into the store and put together a table and say there's 3 legs on one side and one on another. And all we do is move them. And I'm like, oh my God, Jen, you better hope they don't test that out because I will feel like the most complete dumbass in the world because I should have.
the one that.
What? I know, but I should have checked her. I should have checked it. I don't know what I was thinking. So, but anyways. But
Wow.
like I always say, we always have the best.
What was it that we had on last week's real laughs, real life?
Real life,
Real
real
life,
laughs,
real
real life, real
You
laughs.
can always guarantee you're going to have that each week.
I
at us, but
I swear to God, I just kept thinking, oh my God, they're gonna like
That's
just
awesome.
make fun of us. And I was like, it's her fault. It's her fault. I didn't check it. I didn't check it. I didn't check it. I should have checked it.
a whole hour out of our day because I'm an idiot.
That was more than an hour.
No, okay, but we made it happen. We put together the table,
Yeah,
the chairs.
We're rock solid.
I brought my new tree plant. So we are all good for our new setup. But anyways.
All right. Well,
Um,
let's unpack this episode.
yeah.
Who wants to go first?
So
I mean,
we're going to talk about now weight journey. Let's go with you, Lori.
Well, I'm not. Mine isn't in very as much active wise as theirs has been, as you've heard over the last few weeks of them being on this great goal. So, my experience actually started. I had thyroid disorder. I was diagnosed with hyperthyroid disorder, I should say, when I was in my 20s, and I'm now 49. So, so I was put on medication back then for that in my 20s. And then in 2005, my body kind of went through a lot more of a trauma. So I had preeclampsia, which I'll touch on later on down the road. And that turned hyperthyroidism into Hashimoto's. And yes, I said that right, Hashimoto's. So it is a thyroid disorder that basically turns into an autoimmune disorder, which is even more fun.
Oh, yeah.
So I will take a deeper dive into that journey that I kind of touched on earlier that I have gone down and with the holistic doctor approach and different things on a future podcast. But this particular podcast, we're talking about weight loss. So for me, so I have been on synthetic medication that they prescribe you. Levothyroxine, which everybody's either on that or Centauri. That's pretty much the two that they give you when you are diagnosed with thyroid problems. And I have been on that for 20 plus years, 25 years or so. And so it just came to a point where my body was not responding to it anymore. And so when you take that medication, it only feeds your T4, and you have a T4 and a T3. And your T3 is where your metabolism lives. So if you aren't getting enough medication, what really happens is when you take the synthetic medication, let me back up. When you take the synthetic medication that the doctor prescribes you, it only feeds your T4, and then you're supposed to have a reverse T3 that feeds the T3. And in my case, mine was not getting that anymore. So I had been staying at the same weight for years, not moving up or down, just staying at a higher weight than I would like to be, but staying there. No matter what I did, no matter what I ate, no matter how much I exercised, it just didn't move. So I end up then deciding, per this wellness center's guidance, of taking the more natural form. It's still a prescription, but it's a natural form of a thyroid supplement. And first off, I felt better within 2 days of taking it. And then, so as we journeyed along that path, that was in like October of 23, let's say. And so then I got the great fortunate luck of in December of 23 of having my disc herniate in my neck again. So I had to have emergency surgery on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's.
Wait,
I want to talk about that later, but I just.
But no, I was saying about New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So we came on.
Yeah, you came to visit me, and then y'all had a party, and I bring a lunch.
Yeah, we came
We
to visit her on New Year's Eve. Okay, people.
Well, you better be there on. Y'all were just because I came out of surgery.
We were.
So your surgery was on New Year's Day.
Eve. No, my
No,
surgery
it
was
was
on
Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we went, and then we went home and did
Oh,
our
you said
party.
the day before.
I did.
Yes.
I checked in the day before.
Yeah. But we went. We had a supporter.
So either way, so I started the medication in October of 23. I'm trying to remember what year I'm in 25. Okay, so I started my medication October of 23. Then in December, New Year's Eve, I had surgery. So when you go to a different medication, a natural form of thyroid medication, it takes a while to find a balance or the right dose that you're on. So it's like you're on it a couple months, then you do lab work, then you adjust your dose and so forth. So then I throw in this surgery. So, it was a long road of recovery for that. So I spent months recovering, and we adjusted my medication dose. So then fast forward, and I would say like August of 23, me and my son were going to our first Formula One race in Austin for US Grand Prix. And so I knew it was going to
24 last year.
You're right. It was.
Okay, 24.
So I back up. Okay, so in 24. Yes, you're right. I had the surgery, so we're in 24.
That's right.
So August of 24, I start walking a lot because I had already done all this physical therapy for my neck. And I knew that it was going to be a lot of walking and a lot of moving around. So I wanted to get my body back in check. So I started walking a lot before. So about August, September, I started walking a lot. And then we go in October. And then I started weighing myself, and I was like, oh, wait, I've lost like 7 pounds. What the heck? I guess it must be all the walking I'm doing. So then I get back from the trip, and again, I've lost another 5 pounds, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And then I stopped walking. But the weight kept coming off. And so I was like, okay, it's not the walking. So part of having Hashimoto's, another thing, part of that is it's no gluten. It's not, I'm on a low carb diet. You can have it sometimes. It's no gluten. And I knew that, but I never really, I would do it still either way. And I pay for it. If I have gluten, I pay for it. My whole body inflames and I hurt. And I'll cover a lot of that in the health journey of next. So yes, I was doing the right things and eating better, of course. But I'd already been doing that. So it didn't really add up. I was like, okay, I'm not exercising anymore. I'm not walking. I'm eating the same as I was before. And then we get to, what did I tell you? It's like, well, let's fast forward to now. So it's April, but in March, I had a follow-up appointment with my regular practitioner. And so she's okay with me seeing somebody else outside for my thyroid because it's not really her specialty. So I go to my regular PCP appointment, and I had seen her in August of 24. And so when this all started, and so I said, can you look back at my chart and tell me what weighed then? And then I weighed myself then, of course. And then I've lost 18 pounds.
That is awesome.
And so then I started putting into the puzzle. So the two things that were different was one, my thyroid medicine, we finally got into a balanced dose. And 2, I drink this other product, and I'll hold it up, but it's called Restore. And it is from Plexus line, which I take a lot of Plexus products, but it's essentially a liver cellular detox. And you put it in your drink at night, and I drink it like a tea form. It's a powder, and I put it in my tea. But I've been doing this for a while, and I started probably doing that in October, like every day.
But this is your journey, and so
It is my
this is not something you're trying to promote.
I'm not trying to promote it. No, I've been doing that for years, so I'm not promoting it by any means. But I learned that part of this thing that I'm doing, this drink that I'm drinking along, is that it also supports people that have thyroid issues. There's a particular type of supplement in it, and I'm not a geek enough to be able to tell you exactly what that is. But either way, it's something that helps with the thyroid. And also, it also is supposed to help curb your appetite. It helps me sleep. It's lots of great things that it does. But a combination between that and the thyroid medication dose is now correct. My metabolism is working because my T3 is working.
That is wonderful.
And so I've dropped 18 pounds because of it. And now I have a long ways to go.
Wow. That's awesome.
But and now if I would actually do like these other 2 lovely ladies have done and walk all the time, then or exercise.
We'll go to the gym.
Go to the gym. Yeah, but I'm not doing any physical. I mean, of course, I'm just about my everyday. I'm active in general, but I'm not like pursuing that. I have no motivation to do that. So that's kind of like I have always struggled with weight because of my thyroid. And then as you get older, then your metabolism goes really slow.
Mm-hmm.
And so us women have a hard time, like Kimberly will probably tell you, everybody's out there tried a million different kinds of diets. But for my journey, mine has just been, part of it has been my thyroid. So now I'm going to maybe let them rub off on me and be a little bit more active.
We just need to get her in the gym. That's all.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, even if it's just a little bit.
I killed my gym membership. I'm too broke for that, so I'm gonna have to walk now.
Well, walking is completely fine.
Yeah. So who's next? You must tell your journey.
Jen, let's talk about you. Because each one of us have a whole different reason for the weight gain. So, Jen, tell us about you.
So, they both have legitimate health reasons for their struggles. But my problem is me. I'm the problem. I do not have the willpower. I don't have the drive. I will start a diet, and then I'm like, no, I really, really, really just don't want a cheeseburger. I will go to the gym, and then I will reward myself with a chicken sandwich and french fries. I do not. I don't stick with it. Any of the work.
Are you trying to say that the other day when we went to the gym and did our workout, you left and went to KFC?
Yeah. When we left Steph, I went to KFC. When we left yoga, I went and got donuts. Okay? I reward myself for going to the gym. But I am the problem. If it hurts, step class hurt, I didn't go back and do it again the next week.
Well, that's because y'all went way too far into that.
Well, we're not quitting. And she is right. We did not go on Thursday, actually, because we really did have other things to do and we need the time. But we are going to go back. And we are going to just not use the step, and we're going to do the moves to learn the moves. Because just because we failed the first time does not mean we're going to keep failing.
So I woke up. Well, first I'll say that when we went to yoga on Tuesday, I couldn't even do the butterfly position. So my thighs were screaming. From Thursday's step class the week before, I was still in pain, and we were going through the whole thing. And Keisha was like, Jen, this isn't from yoga. What's going on? What did you do? And Kim's like, that was last week. You did step class. I'm like, I still hurt. I can finally sit down and tinkle without crying the whole way down, but apparently I can't do yoga. So then Wednesday we did cardio. No, that was Tuesday. I don't know. Anyways, we did cardio.
No, when we left yoga,
Okay.
I asked you to go do 2 ab workouts with me.
So what I was going to say is I woke up the next morning and my stomach hurt so bad. I could not figure out why my stomach was hurting. I went through the whole, what did I eat last night? Tried to go to the bathroom. My stomach was killing me. I was in so much pain. And then I went to adjust myself in the bed and just started cracking up. I laughed so hard, which of course made it hurt worse. It was my ab muscles from the ab workout we had done before. And it's been so long since I've worked my abs, I forgot what that felt like. This horrible pain in my stomach. Oh, there's muscles in there. I completely forgot. There's muscles in there. It hurts so bad. And so I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
I always have to worry with Jen because I'll do whatever. I'll try whatever, do whatever, and if I suck at it, I'm going to try again. So when we were in yoga, I whispered over to her. I said, hey, when we're done, can I show you 2 ab moves that I've learned? And then she just looks at me and I'm like, okay. So we did. We went and we tried 2 different activities. And so she's just, the first one we did, it was a cool move that I loved. It's where you put this, looks like a backpack going over you and going down. And actually I did it today. And I told Daniel about what happened to you. And he said, okay, that's very weird. That shouldn't happen. She must be holding it wrong. But what I mean is because I'm shorter than you, you have to be holding the wrong area.
It hurt my shoulders so bad. And my shoulders still hurt from it. And I kept telling her, there's nothing going on in my core. I just feel pain here. And when we were done, I pulled my shirt down and said, look how red it is. It was hurting my shoulders. My shoulders were doing all the pulling of the weights. My stomach did nothing and it hurt me still.
So the next time that we go next week, I'm going to bring Daniel over. And no, he said, bring her over, let me show her. And then let's see what's going on because that's not right. Because I did 3 sets today of 3 different weights and it never hurt my shoulder. So I must have taught you wrong. But we'll see.
Okay, so tell us again, Jen, what else you got on your journey?
So I am the person that once it hurts, like I was saying, I quit. Why do I want to hurt? And if I do a diet, I try really hard. 3 weeks later, I'm down 2 pounds. I would rather eat all that yummy food and have those 2 pounds than be miserable for 3 weeks for 2 pounds. I don't have the drive. I don't have the willpower. I am horrible. The one time that I stuck with it and did the work was because I was at my brother's wedding. Yeah. And everybody was a size 0. And at the time, I was a size 12, which this is 13 years ago. I weighed less than I do now. Mm-hmm. But
tell us right before I met you.
It was. Yes. The only reason we met in that boot camp was I was during that process of working my butt off to lose weight. I did it all. I went to boot camps. I went to the gym, took supplements, 1,200 calories a day. I lost the 30 pounds. I did the work. I worked my butt off, and I lost the weight. And then I found it. I found it. The only thing that I didn't go back to that I did every day before then was every morning I would get up and get a cappuccino and donuts. I don't do that anymore.
Donuts is apparently.
Wait, you did donuts every day?
Every day, cappuccino and donuts. That was my morning routine. Okay. And then I would get 2 slices of pizza, QT, and a monster. That was my lunch at least 3 times a week. Now I eat pizza once a month maybe. So those are the only 2 things that I still will have a cappuccino sometimes, a monster every once in a while, pizza, donuts after I left the gym the other day. But it's not a daily thing. But other than that, eat what I want.
No, you hold your butler. Well,
wait. Hold on. I just have to say this really funny story really quick because Jen always makes me laugh.
Thank you.
We went to go get a massage and she hadn't eaten that day and we had already been to the gym and she needed to get something at Kroger.
It was 1:00. I was starving.
And we were waiting. And I said, hey, babe, run over there, get what you need, and just grab something small to eat. She said, okay, are you sure we have enough time? I said, yes, we have enough time. Just go. So she goes, and then she comes back, and she opens her hand, and she has like a 4-pack of 4 donut holes. I said, we just worked out, and you're going to eat 4 donut holes. So she's like, yeah, it was the closest to the register.
The closest, it was candy or donut holes. And I wanted the donut holes.
So she got it. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever. We had our massage. And so then we went our separate ways. And so I had to go to the grocery store to get groceries. Now, I had not eaten. And so now I'm very weak. So I go
Should have
into
got the donut holes.
Ma'am.
I go into Walmart, and the first thing I see is their little
Popcorn chicken.
So I'm like, oh. And so I grab a water and a popcorn chicken so I can shop. So I'm just eating one at a time. And then I do my whole shopping. So then I go back home because we all know Jen lives next to me. So I called her and said, come outside. And then she comes outside and I hold up the popcorn chicken. I said, this is what I mean when you go get something to curb your appetite. Not donut holes.
The popcorn chicken at Kroger beside the register. They had donut holes. Thank you.
Laura couldn't have popcorn chicken or the donuts because I can't have gluten.
No gluten. Gluten on both.
So see, if you go with a gluten-free diet, then you won't have to be. You won't have to.
Well, I don't know. You just can't eat.
Well, I do eat, but I mean, it does make you think about what you're going to eat because I'm going to hurt.
A lot of gluten free. I do because
You do.
I don't like the bloating. The bloating.
Bloating. It really
But
does suck.
It's not enough to where I'm like, I'll have a beer. I'll drink.
Yeah.
You know.
But did you know that when I went to go to the testing for like what I'm allergic to,
Mhm.
and I really, really, really thought they were going to say gluten because after what they tell me that they go through, and then I eat it, and I'm going through the exact same thing, I'm like, oh my God, I must be gluten intolerant. And then they came back and said, no. They said, actually, it's not allergic to, but you're sensitive to peanuts.
Really? You never were before, were you?
I've never done this test before. And I said, what? I said, you don't understand. I'm from the South.
Yeah.
I eat boiled peanuts all the time. And right now, I eat peanut butter and jelly all the time. And I'll go take scoops for just protein.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it means because I never got sick on it. But I don't know. We just all have to just, I guess, go with what our body says.
Try.
I don't know. So, anything else with you, Miss Jen?
I'll finish mine up with saying that every year I say I'm going to get a bathing suit body.
Yeah, that's
probably not a bikini body, but a bathing suit body. And every year I give up and say, well, hopefully I can fit into a Halloween costume. This year, I'm going to try.
To do what?
Bathing suit.
Oh,
we're in April.
You got it. Did you know? I just ordered my first bathing suit from Temu. And so, because, I don't like where it's like skinny on the butt. I like to cover it. And I just like to cover here, but I did. It came in actually 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, so
We
Jen
do
and I,
the zucchini.
we do taquinis and the short. So
I know you do. And actually, and I did do that for a while.
Well, we'll still be doing that in
We'll
the summer.
Yeah.
No, I want y'all to.
No.
Well, even if I was to lose the.
Yeah.
My goal is, and I think I have that in here somewhere, my realistic goal would be 145. I'd be happy with 145 if I could lose
Okay.
5 pounds. That'd make me happy.
Well, we're only, what month are we in?
We're in April.
We're in April.
I'm going to try to stick with it this year. But I was telling Kimberly earlier that the one benefit of an extra 30 pounds is like finally a B cup. So I'm disappointed that I'm going to lose that. That's odd.
Okay, that's actually funny.
So yeah, that's my story.
No, listen, with your bathing suit, you just pick up. Listen, if you want to do the one with the skirt and all of that, but
cellulite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have cellulite, but
you're braver than us.
You are so brave.
No, actually, I just ordered something on TikTok 2 nights ago. Yeah, it says that you put it on your cellulite and it helps it go away.
I tried it.
I don't know.
Not happening.
Of course I tried it.
But anyways, but get one, but I want you both to get one bathing suit. That's not the skirt thing.
It's not happening, so I don't know why you're saying that.
I think y'all should.
That ship has sailed.
It's not sale. It has not sale.
Even if it wasn't the cellulite, my stretch marks bug the crap out of me, and then when I get tan, they're extra white.
But I have stretch marks from my kids.
Not on your butt cheeks and your thighs.
Yeah.
Actually, I do.
Well, then you don't mind them being seen then. I have been wearing a skirt for a good 10 years.
Me too.
So there's no way that I'm going to stop wearing the skirt because none of that goes away.
Mm.
Well, it's not like, listen, we are all at my pool.
Yeah.
It's not like we're putting on a competition for the world. It's just us. And so we have our main friends there. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm sorry. Hey, 5 of you, could you come over and judge us?
You do you, we'll do us.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
We're
that's
done.
fine.
Yeah.
I will say though, I laugh about my arms.
Oh my
That's
God.
And everybody's like, oh, I can't believe you wear tank tops. I want to paint a little American flag here and go, oh, okay. So everybody has problem areas that they work.
Yes.
And I know that my arms should be one.
Okay,
These are my arms.
but I will tell you, actually today I went to my trainer and I actually told him last week. Okay, so let's see if I can do it. All right. So,
But you have small arms.
but do you see? I have
I see
muscle
muscle.
right there, right?
I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
So,
so
and so I'm like, oh, I got muscle right here. But then you see this flap.
I have it too.
And I said, Daniel, what can we do about this flab? Because that looks terrible. So we today did all exercises for my triceps. Now, granted, I know it's not going to last. I mean, it's not going to change it in one session.
No, that's a big one.
But it's going to take a while. But I know that it will actually take time. But at least I know I'm doing it because I hate that. This I hate because it's like, okay, pretend you're giving directions to someone. Hey, go north. And then it's like this is wobbling like a turkey. No.
My makeup.
But so anyways, so that's my whole thing on working out. Okay,
So that's your
so
journey.
let's talk about my journey.
Yeah, please.
We kind of
Okay.
talked a lot about your journey right then. current journey.
Well, okay, so I'm going to start with just a little bit that we are going to talk later. But back in 2013, in December, I was made aware that I had breast cancer. And then in January of 2014, I had a double mastectomy. And then I went through chemo for a year. I think it was for like 6 months that I had chemo every week. And then it went to every 3 weeks. So we will talk about this when we talk about our health and wellness journeys. But what ended up happening was after the year of my chemo, my doctor says, hey, oh, well, I have to tell you this. I probably got down to about 120, 125. I was down to like a size 4. And he said, hey, after you finish chemo, don't be surprised that you're going to gain weight within 6 months. And I'm like, okay. I wasn't expecting what happened. So I went the 6 months and I'm not overeating. I'm not being crazy. But I will tell you, it all piled on me like no other. So I wish I could remember what I weighed after that part, but I can tell you this. I ended up going up to probably in the 180s. And then when I was going to get married to my wonderful husband, Larry, I went on Slim for Life. Because I needed to like try to fit in a wedding gown.
Yeah.
And so I actually did that for 3 months. And then I hate to always say, and we're going to talk about this later, but it has to do with the cancer. I had a hysterectomy 3 weeks before I got married.
Bad timing there.
That was really bad timing because my body was so swollen.
Yeah.
So,
you still looks beautiful.
She looks amazing.
Yeah, she has a perfect
sweet.
dress.
So I ended up losing 20 pounds or so on the Slim for Life just to be able to get into that dress and have my wedding. But the sad thing is that I have my wedding and I'm only 2 weeks postpartum from having a hysterectomy. We have a lot to talk about there, which will be a whole nother segment.
Yes.
Having a hysterectomy actually changes everything in your life.
So that'll be on the health journey next.
Yeah, that'll be on the health journey. Just don't have sexual libido. So
Stay tuned.
So anyway, but before this, do you know I did keto, I did Atkins, I did carnivorous, where I was like
carnivore diet.
Carnivore diet.
Yeah.
I've done everything.
I mean, we all have.
I tried everything.
Yeah.
But once they told me that after my chemo stopped, I was just going to keep gaining weight. I just didn't understand.
It kills your metabolism.
Yeah,
it kills my metabolism. But I will tell you, I barely eat.
Yeah.
And it's not about not eating because I'm trying to starve myself. I'm actually not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've said that before in the past. She eats very little and she's so full.
Yeah.
So for a little while, when I was doing different diets, I would say take a boiled egg, 2 turkey bacons to work, and then I'd heat it up and I would eat that at work. There's so much I did. And I mean, I did everything you could possibly think of. Now, granted, I did not do the gym fully committed. I would go sometimes, but at that time, I just didn't feel it. And I just thought that food, diet would be the full case. But it wasn't. It's not.
Yeah.
But now,
Well,
as we know, talking that I am fully committed now. I
Yeah.
have a trainer twice a week. I do other things. So now I love it. I think as you get older, I think
Well, that's part of your mental. So what I think is the biggest, to me, wow factor for both of you guys is when we reach our age, it's not like we're it's more like self-satisfaction at this point. It's not like you're trying to do it for someone else. I mean, of course we don't care about necessarily what our spouses think about us or a partner or whatever at this point in our lives.
Okay, I'm going to have to disagree with her on this.
Well, I think it gives you the self gratification is what I'm looking at. Like, I feel like it's great for your mental. I mean, you do care what you think.
I literally, even when I was with my ex, and then after 6 months of the chemo,
Yeah,
it was hard. It was really hard. I gained all this weight. I felt horrible. Like I just wanted to cry. Like I actually want to cry right now. I felt terrible about myself. I knew that I had a great personality. I knew I was a great worker. I knew I was a great friend, but I just couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror. So if you are in a dressing room trying on something, I will never look at myself directly in the mirror. Even to this day, even though that I have lost the weight, today, I went to the gym and he has me doing weights looking in a mirror. I don't look in the mirror. I look to the side because I can't look at myself. And that is something I have to deal with.
But that's what you're doing is you're working on that. That's what I'm saying. It's your reward for all of this is self-gratification. You need to see it in yourself. And that is what's going to make you feel better inside.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it doesn't really matter what we think about you or what other people, it's what you feel about yourself. And that is what I'm so proud of you is because that's, to me, going to the gym and working with your trainer is giving you that mental toughness to say, I got this and I am doing well.
She has.
And you are. And I'm very proud of you.
I think I just finished my first month. But
yeah, you will get there. But it's going to, like you said, it doesn't happen overnight.
No, but you would think after a month, like today, like when we were doing 5-pound weights, I mean, come on.
It takes a lot of time.
Going like this. You would think I could look in the mirror at myself. I couldn't. I had to look to the right.
That part of it is going to take a lot more time.
I can't look at myself.
So you will. You'll get to a point where. So for me, like I feel that too because while I'll go and like I had to go buy new jeans, for example, not long ago because mine don't fit me anymore. They're too big. But then I go and try them on. I'm like, oh, I'm down a full size. This is awesome. But I still feel the same way. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, my arms are too big. But do you see yourself as the same? Yes.
And that's what I feel. No matter how many
changed. So I just told you I lost 18 pounds, but it doesn't really matter because I still feel that way.
So so there, I'm going to talk about what actually helped me lose weight, but just so you know, I'm not selling this. I'm not promoting it. I'm just telling you about my journey.
Yeah.
So January of last year, I went to my doctor and I got on semaglutide. So I did that for about 3 months, and because it's 1 shot a week. And so when I did that, I don't know, it just felt weird and I didn't really lose a lot of weight. So I went back to the doctor, I think in March, and I said, hey, I'm not really losing the weight. I'm not gaining, but I'm not really losing the weight. And so they put me on a terzepatide. So the first one, they gave me the full Zepbound. And I could actually tell a difference on that. So what happens is when you take, so I take mine on Mondays. So when I take mine on Mondays, so I not hungry, we'll say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I know I have to eat. So now in the past, last year, like I just wouldn't eat
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And so so now I was losing weight. I did. I mean, listen, y'all, I was up to like probably 195. And the sad part was I'm not that person that goes and eats burgers and all this fattening food.
No.
Yeah.
I was eating way less, but still gaining weight.
Yeah.
So when I did this, it was making me lose weight, but it wasn't doing what the commercials said that they do. So I went to my doctor and I said, listen, I don't want to do semaglutide. Let's try tirzepatide. So we did. We start off at lowest dose. We just keep moving up, up, and up. And I'll tell you, I did. I lost, I was down to about 145. Now, granted, I think in my head, and I may be crazy, but I was like 125 to 30, I wanted to be. But what happened is that there was two things. I was going through a lot of stress through work. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
And to where it was making me sick. So my friends don't know, is it the shot or is it my job? I don't even know. I have no idea. So
when you put it that way,
that's good.
Yeah, but we don't know. So I quit the shots.
She did quit the shots.
Yeah.
And then I just, okay, well, what was it? 2 years ago, I went to a mental institution because I was just out of my mind.
Yeah, I'm stressed. Well, stress alone will make you pound on the pounds because stress inhibits basically your metabolism from working. Mm-hmm. So it does make sense that even though you were not eating anything, you were putting on. Plus, your body's been through a lot of trauma.
Oh my God, my body's been through a lot of
there's
trauma.
kind of like three things and compounded into that. One probably why you've struggled so much. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you're stay focused. You're doing. So for me, I don't have a targeted. I think this is part of it. I don't have a targeted. This is what I want to weigh. And you know why? It's because I don't know realistically if that'll ever be the case.
Right.
My goal is that I want to feel good. And my thing is I don't want to hurt. I mean, I'm a different scenario than the two of you are. But, you know, you're just going to have to do with what you feel is the best you can achieve. And don't shoot yourself down. Like, give yourself the rewards. I'm sitting here giving you the rewards and you're putting it down.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I'm proud of you. You've done a great job.
Thank you. It was really hard. In the beginning, I tried this semaglutide, like I told you, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then this last year, I think it was October, I was going on a girls' trip with my daughter. I got really sick.
Yeah.
In my stomach.
Yeah.
Now, granted, see, and this is where you don't know.
Yeah.
It was budget season for my work.
Same thing she just said is we blamed it on the shot.
We blamed it on the shots.
And she's saying now it could be stress. So we'll see because now you're out of that stress.
I will say, though, when she very, very first went to get the shots, the doctor told her you need to eat 1,400 calories or less. And she was like, I'm not going to eat 1,400 calories. I don't eat much. And I even said, no, she's not going to eat 1,400 calories. The doctor said, well, you need to try. I'm just telling you, do not eat more. And she won't eat more. So you weren't eating enough for the shot.
No.
And for you, normally, you're normal, what we eat, the shot made you not hungry at all. So you couldn't even eat your normal little amounts. And then you were nauseous or it hurt. And it could be the stress. You're right. It could be either or.
I had so much stress because it was budget season. I was doing everyone's budget. And I just didn't know. And then I got really sick.
Yeah.
Ended up in the hospital again.
Yeah.
They said I had ulcers in my stomach. I had basically ulcers in my esophagus. And so I was there in and out of the hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I know they're not happy, but I started 3 weeks ago and I said, okay. And so I actually started that with my shots because now I'm not working. And so now I'm doing the lowest dose and doing it. And I have lost my weight because I did start to gain weight back. I mean, it was slowly, but it wasn't crazy. I gained back, let's see, I was at 146 in December. And then I ended up gaining back to like 156. So now I'm back down to 149. So I'm working my way down.
And you got to eat when you're doing the extensive workout, this is what I wanted to say the other day is when you're doing the extensive workout you're doing, you have to put a lot of protein in your body. And you not always are going to see the scale change because your body is changing. It's not always pounds. It's going to be the way you're reshaping your body.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
You can't go by a number again. You're going to need to go by the way you feel and the way you fit in clothes and the way, because your body's going to transform because he's working with you on toning your body. So I don't care if you weigh 140. If you look toned as crap, who cares?
So can I ask you this?
Yes.
So we've all been up and down in our weight.
Yes.
So
I'm
That's why I have stretch marks.
But at what point do you because we all feel bad about ourselves.
Yeah.
But at what point do we stop? We're like, this is me.
Yeah. Well, that's where I am now. I mean, honestly, I'm not. I'm excited about the weight loss, but it became a part of my journey that I just wanted to feel better because I hurt all the time, all over because it's an autoimmune disorder that I have. So I put things in my body and I hurt all day. I just wanted to stop hurting all day.
Yeah.
So I mean. For me, it's not about I want to weigh this amount. It's not. I mean, I'm excited it's coming off, and when I clear one, y'all are much braver than I am because I'm not even going to say my weight is.
Yeah.
So, but when I reach another hurdle and go over and eat the next 10-pound marker, like I'm like, woo, because I just am floored that it's even moved in 2 years. But mine is more about how it feels, And I think you need to get on that logic because you are now working with a trainer on top of that. And it might not come off in pounds. It might be just the way you look and feel.
I said that too.
Yeah.
Body mass.
And that probably is the case.
You can't have this targeted number in your head is what I'm getting at.
Muscle.
Do y'all know why that I worry?
Why?
When I was little in school, I was made fun of. It wasn't about being fat. At that time, it was me being ugly.
Yeah.
And so we all go through that. But I was always called ugly and blah, blah, blah. And so I think that gets in my head because I want to look pretty.
Well,
every
girl does.
Yeah, I mean, but
you are pretty.
And I want to try to make my body. I'm not saying I want to be like Barbie doll. I just want to be me, but slimmer. So that's what I'm trying.
Well,
And
again, we talked about that in the very first episode. I think that we had was that us women, we put that on our pressure on ourselves that we want to look a certain way, be a certain way. But I think you brought it up like we're in our 40s, we're challenging them. And I think I told you I was struggling with that in my 20s.
You did
So
say that.
I've always struggled with that too. But you know what? It's come to a point. I think the difference between that 20-year-old Lori and the 49-year-old Lori is I don't care anymore. I don't. And you have to get to that place too.
90% there.
You have to get
There's
90%.
just
You got to get 100%.
some points that I'm like, oh my God, are they saying something
But I'm
about me?
I get where you're coming from because there are people in my life at times that, like when I go to an event, a work event, or I do something, it's like, wow, why is she showing her arms in a sleeveless shirt when she's got bigger arms? Or, why is she wearing a dress when she's got, I am short. I'm 5'2", so it carries on me. I mean, it does. I'm not going to have skinny legs, and I'm not tan. I'm pale. And so, I mean, no, I don't look as good as a tall person that's tan and in a dress. I look stumpy. I mean, that's just reality. But at the end of the day, I have to not be hard on myself. And like, my body's not going to ever be that person. And in fact, I mean, I weighed, of course, a lot lower when I was younger and in high school. But to be honest, I weigh less right now than I did when I got married 25 years ago. And my husband married me then.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I don't do it. I would like to look different. I think every woman feels that way. I don't care if you are a size 4 or a size 10 or a size
There's something you
15. There's something you want to change. You see yourself in a photo and you're not happy about it. I don't care who you are. I mean, even if you've got muscles and you're working out, you still are critical on yourself. So you have to think that women all feel that way. It's not just you that feels that way. And I get what you're saying about growing up and feeling that way because I was the same. I had I think I said this in the other podcast too. I said junk in my trunk.
Junk in her trunk,
Yeah.
which I've always had ghetto booty.
Yeah, I've always had that too. And that's just part of who I am. So, I mean, I've always had to deal with that too. But you just can't let it bog you down. You just have to go with what makes you happy and what you feel. Well, you look amazing. You're beautiful. And shame on those people and all those youngsters out there who are not probably listening to this podcast because they're not in that genre. But kids are mean, and people we end up with our self-esteem issues because of the way we were treated when we were younger.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is.
You're completely right.
But going to the gym and doing the things you're doing are helping boost your self-esteem.
And when you started taking the shot, I said, "Promise me you will eat."
And you have been.
And if you get to the point where you're not,
which I did not, and for a very long time.
Right.
And so I will tell you now that I'm doing it for the last 4 weeks. So basically, I'm drinking all of my pre-workout water and all that fun stuff, and then I drink my protein drink.
Okay.
But I'm not eating like food until I make dinner. And so, like tonight, I didn't make dinner, but I actually went before I came here and I made myself a dinner and I ate it.
Oh, that's nice that you fed yourself and didn't feed me.
Well, I had to feed myself because last week you were supposed to feed me and that didn't happen.
I tried to.
That was
our not my fault.
Yeah, she kept asking for food and we kept going, no, I was just
I think the thing is you got to remember to fuel your body.
Yes.
Okay.
Fuel your body.
Fuel my
You're
body.
Not doing it. Okay, so don't think of it in a sense of I have to eat multiple. So the biggest thing for me is like, you almost said it backwards. Like I feel like you need to fill your body more in the daytime and lighter meals in the evening time.
That's where I've always screwed up.
Yeah.
Whenever I was cleaning houses.
Wait.
It's
the opposite.
It's the opposite. Yes,
it's opposite. I don't eat during the day and then I eat dinner.
And then that just sits in you on
it. Just sits in you on it. You don't want to eat that at night.
That's where I've always screwed up.
You need to flip that.
But no, I can't because I got to feed my family
feed your
dinner.
I feed my family dinner, but I don't eat it.
But we're not eating until like 6.
And that's okay. So here's the thing: is like lighter. I'm not saying you don't still eat dinner. I eat dinner. I'm saying the portions of your meals should be more during the day and the smaller portions in the evening time. That will, because when I stop eating at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then you need think of it like it's fasting, so you go 12 hours without eating again. So you're kind of the opposite, because if you're going to work out during the day like you are,
you're burning
your calories. So like for me, like I'll eat, my breakfast is generally yogurt, fruit, not coconut, because I'm dairy free as well, but I'll do coconut milk yogurt and fruit. It's a small amount for breakfast, but it's still getting protein. And then for lunch, it's something low calorie. And then dinner, like I told y'all last week, a lot of times we'll just eat oatmeal if I don't have a salad or something.
And that's actually a great idea.
I mean, that fills me up, and it's enough that it's not heavy on me. But so that's what I would suggest, is that I'm not saying you still can't have dinner with your family. I'm saying you're working out so much that you need to fuel your body. That's the point. Yeah. Fueling your body. Because if you don't fuel your body, you're going to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's going to hold on to it. Calories.
Right.
When you don't have anything for it to burn.
That's right.
So your body's like,
yes, it's going to hold on to it.
And then so you eat and there's no burning calories.
That's right.
So as you know, like we are going through all this weight journey, weight loss, gain. Yeah. I mean, and there's reasons why. It's not just because, hey, I just want to be fat.
Oh yeah.
It's really that we're trying, and we may not be happy with ourselves, but we're trying to make it better.
Yeah. And
we're trying everything. Like I know they don't want me taking the shots.
No.
But I do. That's just me. I just think that because I had chemo, that I really ruined my system, and that this is the only thing that's going to help me do it, because I've tried so many things in between. Yeah. It didn't work. So, hey, if this is working, it'll work.
And it will. I mean, you just have to be patient with it and give it time. And as long as you continue to eat. So I think so we talked this week about our kind of where we're going with it, and we'll continue to follow up with where we're going with it.
Yeah, every week we'll let you
know about the gym, of course. And then I think next week we're gonna
I want to talk about my cancer, about how that came about. Yeah. And I think
I'll talk about my thyroid and my wellness clinic journey. We might have to make that 2 podcasts, but we'll see how it goes. We'll try to see if we can put them in together. But
and Jen, what do you want to talk about next week?
She's got a few health issues over there too. Yeah.
She said
she's like, I'll think about it.
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, for me, yes, I already told you I had cancer.
So we'll dive into that.
And we'll dive into that later. But I will just leave you with this, that no one in my family had breast cancer.
Yeah.
I was the first one. So it's crazy to know that can happen. So we would love to hear your comments. We would love for you to share us with your friends and like us, and hey, give us a comment. I mean, we're not, I mean, even if you want to say hey, or hey, oh my God, when did you have cancer? Or oh my God, when did you have Hashimoto's?
Look at y'all.
I mean, it's just like, just ask a question. I mean,
we'd love to hear your feedback.
We'd love to hear your feedback. Jen, what you got?
I just want to say thank you for sticking with us again this long. If you're still here, thank you.
Yeah.
I think that we're hilarious, and everybody does, so thank you. And today was more of a serious topic.
It was a serious topic, but we did have some fun stuff in there, and we will always make that happen.
No, but like she said last week, there's always going to be, even in the roughest moment, there's going to be laughter.
Yeah.
Always. That's our life. We can laugh at everything. So
Yes.
thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for joining us again.
And then remember, every day is a new beginning.
Every day is a new beginning.
Every day's a new beginning.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.